Nearly 11 million people just tuned in to watch one basketball player, and the people who spent weeks trying to bury her are choking on the numbers. The Commissioner's Cup game pulled 10.79 million viewers, shattering the all-time WNBA viewership record. Legacy media pushed a narrative that the hype was dying. Veteran critics swore casual fans were tuning out. A coaching controversy dominated the headlines, and all of it just got vaporized by cold, hard data. This isn't just a ratings bump. This is the moment that changed the entire power dynamic in women's professional basketball, and the people responsible for trying to hold Caitlin Clark back just got publicly embarrassed on the biggest stage imaginable. For weeks, the story being sold to the public was simple. The Caitlin Clark era was cooling off. Fever fans flooded social media with conspiracy theories accusing coach Stephanie White of undermining Caitlin Clark after Indiana's loss to Portland. A viral sideline exchange during that game added gasoline to the fire. White was addressing the team during a timeout with Clark sitting directly in front of her. White appeared to be jabbing her finger in the air in Clark's direction. Clark outstretched her arms and later stood up, moved behind White and shook her head. The internet lost its mind. Headlines screamed dysfunction. Analysts questioned whether Clark even wanted to play for the Fever anymore. One prominent commentator went as far as saying it felt like Caitlin Clark's last game with Stephanie White and or the Indiana Fever. The machine was in full motion, and the goal was clear: manufacture a crisis around the most valuable player in the sport. But what nobody expected was how spectacularly that narrative was about to collapse. Then the viewership data dropped, and it wasn't even close. Nearly 11 million viewers for a single game. That doesn't just top every WNBA record ever set. It puts Clark's audience in the same conversation as NBA playoff games and major primetime football broadcasts. Her games have regularly delivered record ratings since college, and during her 2024 rookie season, Clark appeared in the most watched WNBA games ever on ABC, CBS, ESPN, and ESPN2. Even her 2026 preseason return made history. The Fever's preseason opener against the Liberty, Clark's first WNBA action since July due to injury, garnered record ratings, averaging 743,000 viewers, an increase of 76% over last year's first preseason game. Every time someone declares the hype is dead, the numbers come back louder than before. The Wall Street Journal once proclaimed her the GOAT of TV ratings, writing that her impact on viewership exceeded any other modern athlete. And with 11 million viewers now on the board, that title just got reinforced with a sledgehammer. Here's what makes those numbers even more insane. Clark wasn't even at full strength. She overcame illness to contribute 17 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. Reports from the broadcast confirmed she was throwing up before the second half even started. Clark confirmed she wasn't feeling well, telling reporters she tried to eat some applesauce and it came up, adding she hadn't puked that much in a very long time. Most players would have sat the rest of the game. Clark went back out and played some of her best basketball in the second half. She played better after getting sick, scoring 10 of her 17 points in the second half. And this was after an already brutal 2025 season where injuries nearly derailed everything. She missed a majority of her sophomore pro season with injuries, then came back in the first game of 2026 to become the fastest player in WNBA history to record 1,000-plus points, 250-plus rebounds, and 250-plus assists. She's carrying the weight of an entire league's viewership on her back while physically battling just to stay on the court. And somehow, she keeps delivering. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. While Clark delivers historic audiences, rumors suggest her own coaching staff isn't putting her in a position to dominate. White faced criticism for subbing out Clark, Hull, and Aaliyah Boston with 6:30 left in the opening frame of the Portland game. Indiana was leading at the time and proceeded to unravel. By the end of the quarter, Portland led 29-15. Fans watched that game slip away in real time and pointed the finger directly at White's rotation decisions. One commentator called it absolute coaching malpractice in Indianapolis. And the lack of pick-and-roll sets, off-ball screens, and creative offensive design has become a recurring complaint. Clark's defense has become a target, with teams attacking her in isolation. In the last 4 games, she defended 34 isolations, the most by any player over a 4-game span in the past 3 seasons. Teams know they can go at her because the system around her isn't built to protect her. But both Clark and White have publicly pushed back against the drama. Clark called it another example of what everybody wants to blow up, adding that when she got hurt at the Connecticut game last year, she bawled in Steph's arms and described White as someone she'd ride for the rest of her life. So is there real tension, or is this manufactured noise? That's the question 11 million viewers are now watching to find out. Let's talk about the part nobody in the front office wants you to think about: the money. Clark pushed her total earnings to an estimated $16.1 million in 2025, with the breakdown being $16 million from sponsors and $114,000 from her WNBA salary, 99.3% from endorsements, and just 0.7% from the league. Her WNBA base salary. After the new CBA, it jumped from $85,000 to roughly $528,000 in 2026. That's a massive raise on paper, but still a fraction of what she generates. Her Nike deal alone is worth $28 million over 8 years and includes her own signature shoe. By October 2025, Nike released its first line of Caitlin Clark signature apparel, with a sneaker line expected in 2026. Her Wilson signature basketball collection places her alongside Michael Jordan as the only athletes in Wilson's history to receive one. She's generating billions in value for a league that, until she arrived, couldn't fill half the seats. The Fever set a single-season record with 340,715 fans for total home attendance in 2024. The gap between what Caitlin Clark earns and what she creates is the single biggest story in professional sports. And it's only getting wider. Here's the reality that the old guard doesn't want to accept. The power in this league has already shifted, and it belongs to number 22. Teams have moved home games against the Fever to larger arenas just to accommodate public interest, including the Mystics at Capital One Arena, where attendance hit 20,333. During her rookie season, Fever games were moved to NBA and NHL arenas in Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Washington. DC Forbes named the Fever the second most valuable WNBA franchise at $370 million, and reported they led the league in revenue with an estimated $32 million in 2024. The Fever literally cannot afford to mismanage this situation. The Fever have zero incentive to get rid of Clark. She's their most marketable player and hasn't even hit her ceiling yet. She's the definition of an untouchable asset. And yet, the whispers persist. Trade rumors to the LA Sparks surfaced before being shut down. The coaching controversies keep cycling, and 11 million people are now paying very close attention to how this franchise handles its golden ticket. The critics didn't just fail. They accidentally proved exactly how dominant Caitlin Clark really is. Every negative headline, every manufactured controversy, every attempt to dim her spotlight only made more people tune in. Nearly 11 million viewers watched her play through sickness, navigate coaching tension, and still deliver a historic performance. She's rewriting record books while battling a system that hasn't fully figured out how to support her. The real question isn't whether Caitlin Clark belongs at the top of this sport. That debate is long over. The real question is whether the people around her, the coaches, the front office, the league itself, can rise to meet the moment she's created. Because 11 million people are watching, and they're not going anywhere.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.